Hello, thank you for following Hadassah's Crown Publishing. We are excited to present to you today our Spring 2024 update. If your life is like ours, we know the need to get on here and get off. So we are going to be very brief, but we just want to give you an idea of what we're doing. As you know, it's always books, books, and books. And so we just want to share with you all the creative ways that we know to engage with books, how to engage audiences, what we do, and give you some ideas of what you can do, but also you can give us some ideas. So we always encourage you to interact with us in the chat and just let us know what more you'd like to see. Give us some ideas of some new things that we can do. We are collaborating with a number of people on a number of projects. We are helping people prepare for their classes, preparing books so that the classes have content after the class is all over. But at the end of the day, we are consulting with school districts as well as individual schools. But if there's something you think we could perhaps collaborate on, don't hesitate to reach out. Let us know. There's definitely content information or contact information in our bio. So let's get started. All right, let's see. Last month, we had the blessed privilege of working with all of the middle schools in Williamsburg County. We had a ball. We presented to the middle school students marching around the Schumert. And this was one of the most engaged conversations, or the group was very engaged. We had adults. We also had middle schoolers, and some of them possibly had their younger siblings on. As you know, last month or in February, we engaged with the elementary students and we began with BJ's Big Dream. So we had a wonderful time. We always love working with Williamsburg. And speaking of which, this coming Saturday, we are going to be working with Williamsburg again, this time the high schools. And we are presenting the book on our shelf, Ulysses Cunningham, A Friend to Man. If you haven't read this book or if you haven't listened to Ulysses Cunningham's interview, I am going to paste the link for those in the chat so that you can listen to those. But we have some great ways to engage high school students with their family members. Perhaps they're blessed to have older members in their family, or maybe it's a neighbor, maybe it's someone who works at their school, but we just want them to be appreciative, respectful, and to use it as a learning opportunity to engage with our seniors. So we're excited about that. So we're calling all Jaguars and Tigers. We're going to talk about the power of struggling and why all of us benefit from our struggles. So this was the author spotlight that we did on Ulysses Cunningham. And so I'm going to not play it now, but I do want you to listen to it if you haven't. And then we are going to go to our next release, Silo, which is a book of poems. This book is by the author of My Brother, which is a children's book, but he also released some poems a couple years ago in his debut poetry book. It was entitled Transparency. And this book is a tribute to mental illness, specifically depression, perhaps some anxiety. But this author, through his poetry, lets us know some things that we can do to monitor and adjust our situations, but how we can also engage professionals, whether they are clergy or whether they are in agencies, to assist us. But as friends, as family members, there are some things that we can do to help each other. So not just that advice, but just great reads, great poetry. So check out Silo. I know you'll be hearing more about that book in the upcoming days. We released the book But God with author Shamika Hatcher, who was very candid about her upbringing, some things that happened to her. But we really hone in or key in on the day when she gained her voice and she gained her power and she began to speak up and she was able to save younger people in her family from enduring some of the same abuse that she endured. And so this is a great book. It can be a gift. It's for women, but it's also for men. It's for parents. It's for children because we need to know what goes on in the darkness and how we can bring light to that situation, how we can discuss it, how we can heal, and how we can become whole if we're ever caught into that cycle. So I recommend But God by Shamika Hatcher. Check that out. You can also check out the interview that Shamika Hatcher did with BJ Cheek. This is also on our YouTube channel, and we're going to post that link in our description as well. On April 20th, Saturday, April 20th, 2024, Shirley Ann Johnson is going to release her second book, The Hand of God. A few years back in 2021, she released Overcoming Adversity. And that book, it was basically a memoir from, well, basically about her early life, her divorce, and then her remarriage. She was married in a beautiful relationship for 77 days before she became a widow. So she talks about the healing, the grief, and how she's able to minister to other women. Well, there's more to her dating and relationship story, and she tells it all in the hand of God and how the hand of God it has been there, how she has recognized that and how appreciative she is. It even ends with a song that she has written about in the palm of his hand. So check that out if you're in the upstate area. If Greenwood is not too far from you, her book signing is going to be at SOAR. It is on Saturday, April 20th at 5 o'clock. And also this week, I had an opportunity to interview Minister Shirley Ann Johnson. And so you can also watch that interview. It is on Amazon. I'm sorry, it is on YouTube. And I'm going to post that link in the chat as well. And we have a book that will be coming out. Not exactly sure when. It's coming very soon. It is entitled Trap House to God's House. And Minister Travis Boyd is the author. You can listen to his interview was with Mustafa of the Mayat Hour. It has aired. And for some reason, we've had difficulty uploading that to YouTube. We still have the audio, and we're going to figure out how we can get that out to our listeners, but we will be doing that soon. And stay tuned for the release of this book, Trap House to God's House. And Dr. Deborah Kittrell Michael has released her family history, The Kittrell Brothers of Kittrell, North Carolina. Now, this is one of the best family histories I've ever seen and I've ever read. And I'm blessed to have had the opportunity to work with this author. Everything that she does is just extremely classy. And she had a certain expectation for her book. And so as thick as it is hardcover, but it is colored throughout. It's just an absolutely beautiful book. And the way she chose to tell about the hardships of some of the females in her family, she used a lot of narrative. She did a lot of interviewing of her family members, but she actually has historic documents in her book. For example, she has marriage licenses, she has death certificates, birth certificates, newspaper clippings, because she had a relative who was gunned down by a law enforcement officer. And all of the articles surrounding that are in the book. She also has in here where one of her relatives was a victim of domestic violence. And even though that was many, many years ago, all of the newspaper clippings are here. But then Kittrell, North Carolina is known, it's a place where the family, the city is named after the family. And so Mr. Floyd's grocery store was very popular then. She has pictures of the family homes, like super old pictures. Those homes, some of them are not standing anymore, but this is a great documentation and representation. And so she wants this to be a model for other families so that they will make sure they secure their history. They put it into a very attractive compilation and that they make sure that it is available for many generations to come. And so I encourage you to contact her. She has her own website. This book is not at this time available on Amazon or in Ingram Spark, or it's not available in Barnes and Noble, Books A Million, Target, any of that. You need to get it from her. She has a couple of signings and events coming up in the Statesboro, Georgia area. So I will post her information so that you can be sure to get in touch with her. And we are interviewing this coming Sunday. That interview will be posted probably one day next week. So be on the lookout for it so that you can learn more about this spectacular book. And so that basically is our presentation for this month. We have still been doing a lot. I didn't tell you about some of the children's books that we are publishing right now, but just so that you have some titles to be thinking about, Lane Loves Labradors is coming out. It is a great opportunity for our young children to learn. And we're including some standards in the back of that, as well as discussion questions that will create units. Like this book could be studied for months in the school setting. So be on the lookout for that, as well as Guinea Pigs Are People Too. And I honestly just cannot ever name all of the books that we are working on. But one thing you can rest assured about is the fact that we will come back and let you know what we're doing. Our school appearances, church appearances, wherever we are. So this coming Saturday, April 13th, we will be at the Historically Black College and University Fair at Floor Field, downtown Greenville, South Carolina, from 2 until 5 o'clock. And we will be taking some of our O to Be a Bulldog books with us. So if you have young children who one day you hope they will attend an HBCU, or if you just want to learn more about an HBCU or share that information with someone else, stop by the South Carolina State University table so you can pick up a copy of that book. Otherwise, get in touch with us, HadassahsCrownPublishing.com. We are book people. Books are what we do all day, pretty much every day. We love what we do. If you have an idea, or if you know someone who has just recently written something, they're looking for a publisher, whether they want us to do it all or if they want us to coach, we are here. We are passionate about what we do. We can't say it enough. We love it, and we want you to love books as much as we do. So let's connect. Thank you for joining us today. And we hope that you are inspired by just some of the content that we have dropped today. Thanks again for liking this video, sharing it, and for following us.